G'day. Different is always better, at least in the short term. Greetings from the suburbs of Melbourne, cruising around, getting a few jobs done today. Great thing about being away for a long time is whenever you come back, there's always a hell of a lot to do. But last night we were down in the city, down along the Yarra River, and they had a food festival down there. It was basically an Asian food festival. I think they called it the Noodle Festival or something. So lots of noodles on display, lots of Asian food, stir fries, that kind of thing. So very much the kind of cuisine that I'm used to from back in Malaysia. And they were all pretty much kind of the same, except for this one that basically had noodles standing up. So it was like a waterfall of noodles in a bowl. It was really clever the way they displayed it. And I'll put a couple of photos of it in the notes below, in the comments below, so those that are watching the video will also be able to see it. But basically what it was a bowl of noodles, but then out of the middle of these noodles, they all just stood up. And the way they stood up was very simple. They basically got a fork and then sort of rolled all the noodles over the top of the fork. So underneath this pile of noodles was a fork standing upright. I think the fork was resting in an apple core or in a piece of apple. And so that created this really creative, really interesting bowl of noodles. Now, it caught everybody's attention, as you'll see in the photos. The thing about it is, though, the noodles were pretty average. So everybody was still lined up to go and get those noodles because there's no way of knowing. There's no real social proof other than the cues as to which one is good or which one is bad. It's not like an established restaurant where you know what's good. These guys are just there for a couple of days. So people were still lined up in this particular queue. Why? Because of the display of the noodles, because of a fork that created this waterfall of noodles. It was just really clever marketing. And so they stood out. Everybody was looking, everybody was asking my wife, where did you get that? Where did you get that? We did the same thing. In fact, when we first saw it, where do you get that? So I guess the lesson is, from a marketing point of view and a standing out point of view, different is always better. Different will always get attention. Different will always stand out. But why I say it's always better in the short term at least is because eventually people are going to eat the noodles and decide, nah, they're not so great. So having a better product is always a better long-term strategy. Having a different product is usually the best strategy for starting out in the early stages. Just a thought. I thought it was an interesting observation on marketing. Anyway, that is it for today. I do thank you for your time, and I will be back again tomorrow. See ya.
Wanted to see something that's different.